One of my subscribers, I believe it was last week, had asked me, Taurean, are you going to do a video about the TJ Holmes situation? And I flat out told her that nah, because there were so many other things I could talk about. And I already know how this situation is going to go because of the Ime Udoka situation that happened previously, which is why I didn't talk about that except in my live streams. But now finding out the revelations with this and then knowing about what happened with Ime Udoka, you're sensing, or not so much sensing, but you're seeing a pattern. So in case y'all are unaware, but by this time you most likely are, because they plastered this as much as they possibly could, TJ Holmes, who of course we all know is the black man right there, is standing next to this woman named Amy Robach. And both of them are anchors on Good Morning. I think it's called GMA3. I believe that's what it's called. Yeah, it's called GMA3. And that's basically Good Morning America. Were anchors or co-anchors or on the show. And for a while, they had established a relationship outside of just work. Now, keep in mind, these two individuals were married to different people. She had a husband. He had a wife. And the crazy part about it is they said they used to go on double dates with each other. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, wow, they were going on double dates with each other all the time, all the while in their minds, mentally, they wanted to be with each other physically as well, while sitting literally beside their partners at the time. Time goes on, and so forth. And eventually they give into their feelings with each other. And they started to, do the adult thing. Eventually, they separated from their spouses. They each separated from each other's spouses. And now they're free as birds to do whatever it is that they want. There were pictures captured of them being seen together. They weren't being discreet at all. Like, really not at all. It's almost like, were you trying to get caught? It's not like you're not in the public eye. You're very noticeable, especially TJ Holmes. Because we remember as black people seeing him back when he used to be on BET. When he had his own show on there briefly, and then he went to GMA. So fast forward a little bit, like I said, I'm just jumping around because it's like y'all already know the story by now, or should, or if you care. They pretty much said that, hey, we're in a relationship, so on and so forth. And shout out to Harvey because he's been following this story for the last week or two. And actually, how I'm doing this video right now is how I found out about this, because I wouldn't have known any other way because I didn't care about it. But fast forward to now, they have both been temporarily suspended. I want to put it like that. They both been temporarily suspended due to their relationship with each other. Now, there's a couple of ways that this can be seen. One, because they broke the policy of being in the same workplace with each other and having a relationship, which in a lot of companies, that policy is ingrained in there that you should not be having any type of workplace relationship with anybody that you work closely with or just with at all. That's how they did with the Ime Udoka situation. And I'm going to touch back on that. The other side of it is, well, actually, this is another part to it. The second part to it is because it's an adultery type of relationship that they had that led them to getting together. It's not like both of them were single and then just happened to meet each other at this job and boom, they got together. These are two people that were married to different people and were cheating on their spouses while working together. So that didn't look good either. The third part, and this is the one that I think got them suspended, is because it became a distraction. This literally got talked about more than what they were supposed to be talking about on the news segments. And then it's like they couldn't be together and no one could focus on it. As a matter of fact, I was looking through when I was trying to find an article to talk about this, that it was a headline somewhere that said that their ratings jumped up when it got exposed that these two were in a relationship. So now you know that people were tuning in not to see what they were going to talk about on the show or any other people, because they're not just the only ones there, but they were just tuning in to see them two. Good for ratings, but bad for business, if you know what I mean, if you catch my drift. Good for ratings, bad for business. So now both of them are temporarily suspended. And I can just about guess which one, if they do bring back, which one's going to get their job back and which one may not. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and read this article coming from People, where they're actually going to talk to the two people who are currently in their spot right now and what they had to say about it. ABC News President Kim Godwin made the call to put TJ Holmes and Amy Robach on hiatus after news of their workplace romance surfaced last week. TJ Holmes and Amy Robach are stepping back from GMA for a bit. During Monday's episode of Good Morning America spinoff, the series announcer announced the pair, as well as Dr. Jennifer Ashton as usual, but temporary co-host Stephanie Ramos and Gio Benitez were seated at the desk beside Ashton. Ramos then briefly addressed Holmes and Robach's absence from the show. "Welcome everybody to what you need to know on this Monday," she said. "Amy Robach and TJ Holmes have the day off." Benitez then added, "We are so glad you are here with us to begin this brand new week here on GMA3, and we are tracking so much." People confirmed Monday that Ramos and Benitez will temporarily step in for co-anchors Holmes and Robach after their romance went public last week. Ramos is an ABC News correspondent who began her journalism career while serving in the U.S. military, while Benitez is also an ABC correspondent who mainly covers transportation. Good morning. See you on ABC GMA3 later this afternoon. Check your local listings for times. Ramos shared on Instagram an hour before Monday's broadcast. It's unclear how long Ramos and Benitez will hold the positions for, and if or when Robach, age 49, and Holmes, age 45, will return. The fact that they're questioning if they'll even come back lets you know they probably have already decided their fate. It's just that they haven't told us yet. For as far as we know, these two probably already know what their future looks like. The public just doesn't know. And I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if one of them comes back, it'll most likely be her. If none of them come back, I'll actually be shocked that they didn't bring her back and just kept him out, because, well, you know, that's America for you in a nutshell. A source told People that the decision to put Holmes and Robach on hiatus was announced during a routine staff call on Monday led by ABC News President Kim Godwin. Per a second source, it was revealed that GMA decided to have a period of cooling down because they thought this was unwanted attention. Like I just said, I called it at the beginning. It was a distraction. And again, like I said in the headline, they said that the ratings jumped up when people had found out about their relationship, so they knew the people would only watch if they were there, you know, together, just to see what the chemistry was like with them on the set. But see, the thing is, again, goes back to the distraction part. People wouldn't be able to focus on anything because that's all they would talk about. They probably wouldn't even be able to get through a segment. That's because they have literally now found to become obsessed with something they just found out like 2 weeks ago. Like I said, people love drama. They just really, that's just what it is. I chalk that up to human error. Not so much human nature, but human error. Per a second source, it was revealed that GMA decided to have a period of cooling down because they thought this was unwanted attention. So for the time being, they're going to be off the air. Last week's photos were released that show Robach and Holmes on vacation in upstate New York. A few other shots featured them laughing together over drinks and holding hands. At the time the photos surfaced, neither Robach nor Holmes was believed to be separated from their spouse, even though I think it had pretty much been put out there that they were. They just didn't know at the time, and that's another thing, because they were literally in secret. They weren't out in they were out in public, or at least they thought they wasn't going to get caught, but to them, they were in a quote unquote secret undercover relationship that no one else knew about. But those pictures showed it, and then they knew that each of them were married, but didn't know that they probably weren't separated from their spouse. So they assumed that they were cheating. So when you put all of that together, let's just put it this way. These two right here were very sloppy in trying to quote unquote hide their relationship from the public. So really, the reason they got caught is because they must have wanted to get caught. They may not have wanted to get caught, but the way that they went about it, they put themselves out there on the slab. They put themselves out there to get caught. They were very sloppy with it. They were not tactful at all. Again, these are public figures. People have seen them or watched their show, know who they are. And black people, we all know who TJ Holmes is. I'm gonna be honest, I don't watch that show, so I wouldn't have known who she was, but I would have known who he is because of where he came from before he went to this show. A different source previously told people that both Robach and Holmes separated from their partners in August, striking up a romantic relationship thereafter. The duo has yet to confirm the end of their marriages, but Robach's husband, Andrew Shue, has deleted all photos of Robach from his Instagram page. Well, I think that pretty much confirms it, because usually when someone breaks up with someone, if they have pictures of them with their spouse or significant other, however you want to put it, they delete all the pictures of that person if they took a picture by themselves on their page, and they definitely delete all the pictures of them together on their page. So that's pretty much a telltale sign that the relationship is over. Because really, who's going to spend all that time going through social media or your pictures on Instagram trying to find every last one of those pictures? Because you would literally have to scroll back to the very first picture that you took, if you can remember which one it was, and then start scrolling up and deleting each one on the way up until you're done. An insider said Robach and Holmes' connection was no secret at ABC. There were so many people internally that were unhappy about it. They were flirtatious, the source shared. 2 days after the photos were published by the Daily Mail, Holmes seemed to joke about the viral drama on air Friday. You know, it's too bad it's Friday. It's been a great week, said Holmes, sparking laughter from Robach. I just want this one to keep going and going and going. Just enjoy it. Take it all in. Robach responded, speak for yourself. Though, listen, we all grown here. If those weren't sexual innuendos, they did a really good job of trying to play that off. But that sounded like a sexual innuendo coming from him, and she was definitely in on it. I am very excited about the weekend, and I'm sure everyone else too, she added. We all love our Fridays around here. Some of us do, at least. And it says GMA3 airs new episodes weekdays. Check your local listings. Listen, I think everything that I stated in here is a reasoning as to why, but I think the ultimate reasoning for me is the fact that this was a distraction. They knew that this would be a distraction, and that's why they said they need to take some time off until the dust settles with this entire situation. But I would not be surprised if if she comes back and he doesn't, or two, they're both not coming back. Like that's really all it boils down to. I will be pleasantly surprised if they let both of them come back. And the thing is, that's a risk they're going to have to take or to see how they're going to have to weigh that out, because it's like if you bring them back, your ratings are going to go up because people are going to want to see how they are with each other. But then it's like you look at the optics and the background of the whole situation, it doesn't look good. But then on the flip side, if you don't bring them back, then you're going to lose ratings as well. But then it makes you wonder what their futures are going to look like outside of that if they don't get brought back to that studio and on to that show. But again, this so-called secret of which was once a secret affair, that's not secret anymore, was very sloppy and tacky, if you want to be honest, on both of their parts. Like the cheating on their spouses. Like if y'all just wanted to, to separate, just do that, not do it while y'all were married. Because again, I think they said their relationship, if I'm not mistaken, someone can correct me wrong, their little affair began, I believe, like back in March of this year. And it said they separated from their spouses, or at least she did, or maybe both did, I'm not sure, separated from each other in August. So you're talking March, April, May, June, July, August. You're talking about 5.5 to 6 months of these two having a adultery type of affair with each other while still married to their wife and husband, to their spouses. That right there was not a good look. Being out and about in the public thinking that you weren't going to get caught was not a good look. They said even people who worked there with them kind of had a feeling something was going on. Harvey said that he would look at some of the episodes and look at how flirty they would be with each other, and said there's something more there than just a working relationship. Like you can just tell. Body language will tell everything if words do not. If you can't get it out of them verbally, that body language is going to tell something else. You can tell when someone's trying to flirt with somebody or someone trying to be cozy up with somebody if they're not saying much. They don't have to flat out say, hey, I like you. their body language will tell it all. And apparently it did, again, because I don't watch this show. Don't plan on it. It's not something that appeals to me. It's not for me, my personal demographic. But we'll see what happens. Again, this is not a story I really wanted to touch on, but because of the revelations, I say, you know what? You know what I like to say? It's content.